June 23rd, 2025. It is 12:29 p.m. here in San Francisco. Here's what I'm thinking about today. If you hear the phrase operating model, run for the hills. I have been a consultant now most of my professional career, 20 something years. And I will tell you that I don't even know what other consultants mean when they say this company needs an operating model refresh, other than they want to charge a lot of money and be smeared across the entire organization. And they want to tell you how you're doing everything is wrong. McKinsey just put out another article saying that organizations need an op model refresh. Of course they did. McKinsey wants you to buy off on a enterprise-wide transformation that has 400 priorities that they can throw teams at. And okay, here's my question. Yet another op model refresh from McKinsey. Tell me what your success rate was on the last round that you did. Because I've been around a lot of them. I picked up the pieces from quite a few McKinsey op model refreshes, and I haven't seen a successful one ever. So before you start pitching new ones, tell me how the last ones went. Here's the thing. Op model refreshes sound exciting. They sound exciting for a new CEO who just got, brought into the company, and they get to look across it and say, I want to bring us up to date. I want to change everything about how we're doing. It's so much easier to sell that, and it looks exciting, and it's a way that will involve the entire organization, but it never gets done. It just never does. It's too ambitious. It's like deciding that, look, I'm in bad shape, so I'm going to start eating better. I'm going to start running marathons. I'm going to get cosmetic surgery. I'm going to have a blood boy to start changing my blood out. It's like, and keep going, right? I'm going to get my teeth whitened. I'm going to, I'm going to add 4 inches to my height with that bone thing that people do. All of those things together. And at the end of it, I'm going to be some perfect ideal of a human being and not some gawkish monstrosity that shouldn't be allowed out of bell towers. Organizations don't need op model refreshes. What they need oftentimes is a redefinition of what good looks like, what the organization is trying to achieve. You wouldn't believe how often organizations just don't even have an enterprise-wide strategy that people can connect to. What are we doing here? How does my work ladder up to something other than an increase in some kind of shareholder price through alchemy of some kind? Like, tell me what we're aiming at, and then make sure that the processes are in place that we get better over time. Continuous improvement. I know people have talked about this before, but it's like so not as sexy to pitch companies to get on a continuous improvement train, but it is so critical. You're never going to completely tear down an organization and put it back together in a perfect way. You're just going to cause so much mayhem and so much change resistance. Your best people are going to leave to go somewhere that is not chaotic for the next 4 years. The people who were never good in the first place are going to stick it out because it's easier to. And you end up in just pure chaos. Trust me, I've been called in so many times after organizations have embarked on these op model refreshes. Again, what you need to do is understand what is our enterprise level strategy and what does good look like for each of our divisions? What are we trying to aim at? And then put the reflective and improvement processes in place to get better all the time, one foot after another. That's what you need. And it actually happens a lot faster than you think. Once you can get companies to embrace that, continuous improvement tends to go slow at first and then spikes up. I've seen it in so many different companies when it is just like, it's month 2 or 3, executives are incredibly bored and they're like, when am I going to start seeing changes? And then month 5 and 6 hit and they are just astounded. And oftentimes they are freaked out by how much has changed. Because once you can get teams on that reflective cycle of looking back at our work, is it meeting those standards that we've set for ourselves and that the organization has set for us? What 1 to 2 things can we try to change and run through the cycle one more time? And how does that have an impact on us or not? And you keep adding those improvements up. They compound on one another. This is like compound interest math. Just so important. to get organizations there instead of this like fantasy fiction idea of what the organization could and should look like that you'll never achieve, that you'll pay consultants millions of dollars to draw for you in a boring graphic novel that you'll never look at again twice. So please, if you hear a consultant tell you you need an op model refresh, run for the hills.